This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi. So we're learning Treyasar, Sefer Zecharia. Zecharia is the second to last of the Treyasar, so it's Chagai, Zecharia, Malachi, the second to last of the penultimate of the Treyasar. And we're talking about Zechariah's vision, where he saw horses, different color horses, different number of horses. They represent different golios, which ones that we discussed last time. And now he's trying to get further clarification of what this means. We're going to start from Zecharia Parak Aleph Pasuk Tes. Va'oimar, and I said, Ma'ela Adoni. What are these, my master? Vayomer Eli, and he said to me, Hamalach Hadoiver bi, the angel that spoke to me, Ani Areka, I will show you Mahema Ela, what these are.
Who did he ask the question to?
So he asked this of Malach. Now, who this Malach is, let's see Rashi. V'oimar, Rashi says, L'malach echad, to the angel Asher hayamara oisi kol zos, who showed me all this, Ma Ela Adoni, what is this? V'hu haroichev al sus Edom. This was the Malach who was previously riding the red horse. Okay, that's the Rashi's opinion. The Radak also concurs. V'oimar hadoiver bi. The Radak says, "Hu she'amar elav hayad dvar Hashem al Zecharia." This was the Malach who was talking. However, others say that this is referring to a different Malach. Look in the Ibn Ezra. Ve'einenu ha'omed ben ha'adasim kafi perish yafes. This is not a different angel. It's one Malach. So the Ibn Ezra sides with Rashi, but he does bring down another opinion, of the opinion of Yefes. Now, who Yefes is, I don't think he's referring to the son of Noach over here, right? It must have been one of the Mefarshim that I'm not familiar with. His name was Yefes, but the Ibn Ezra does not agree with him. Okay? Okay. Pasuk Yud. Vayan Hoish Hoimed ben Hadasim Vayomer. And the man who was standing among the myrtles spoke up and said, Eila, these are Asher Shalach Hashem, that God sent, Lehishalech ba'aretz, to walk through the earth. Now what does this mean? Rashi says, Lirois eshavas ha'akom. Hashem sent a messenger to see what the situation of the Goyim was, and this messenger, in fact, was doing that. Take a look in the Mitzudais, Yud, Im ki hu shal el hamalach hadover bi, anhu ha'ish. In other words, even though, according to Mitzvah David, Zecharia addressed this question to the angel, a different angel responded. Okay? What did he respond? Vayanu, Pasuk Yud Aleph, Vayanu es malach Hashem. And they answered the angel of God, Ha'omed ben Hadasim, who was standing among the myrtles, Vayomru, and they said, His halachnu ba'aretz, we walked in the earth, V'hinei chol ha'aretz, Yosheves v'shoiketes. The whole earth is sitting and tranquil.
Was this all on a train from beginning to end?
This is a nevuah. This is a prophecy. Now, like we mentioned in the beginning of the Sefer, let's go back to the first Rashi of Zecharia. Rashi says a very important thing, and that is Sisuma Himoid. So everything we just learned now, as confusing as it sounds, nevertheless, it is very mysterious. Right? We don't know exactly what it means. It's very Sisuma. Rashi says, Ki yesh ba marois doimois l'chalam, we cannot interpret it clearly until the great Eliyahu Hanavi comes. So what this means exactly, we can only conjecture. So if Rashi is saying we can only conjecture, you can imagine what our level of understanding of this is. Okay? So, but to get in a nutshell, what does it mean? V'hinei chol ha'aretz yosheves, that the whole earth is yosheves v'shoiketes, is tranquil. What does that mean, the whole earth? Who is tranquil? It says in Matsuda, it's very important. Yud Aleph. Vayanu ki hamalach ha'imi bein ha'adasim sha'ala ma'asu ba'aretz kol echad bizmanoi Okay, look at the next mitzvah. His halach navaretz, Ratzolaymar, Yarashnu es kol haaretz, v'hinei kula yosheves b'shalva v'hashgate. All the goyim are dwelling in tranquility, ve'emisha arav libay lageshes l'milchama, and no one has even the thought of approaching in war, lakachas ma miyadenu, to take anything. What does this mean? Upisrain hamara, the interpretation of the vision, hasusim, are the horses, hem shluchei hamakim, are the agents of God, yermazu al hamoishlam bekipa, allude to those who dwell over the world. In other words, this refers to the powers of the world, the world superpowers, right? The four malchios. The heroloi b'dmos susim. Why are the four superpowers alluded to in horses? L'ram is al hamahiros v'kalas hatnua. Horses are quick. V'yaharbe mikol min l'ram is al marbes hamahiros. And then the Metzudas goes on to interpret who the different color horses alluded to, and that's something we discussed last week. But what does this mean? The whole world was tranquil. That means the rest of the world was living in tranquility, while Yerushalayim was laying in ruins. Look in Pasuk Beis. Vayan Malach Hashem. The angel of God answered, Vayomer, and he said, Hashem Tzavakos, God, Master of Legions. Now, what's going on now? Now, who's he talking to? Who's this angel talking to? Now he's talking to Hashem. He's not talking to Zecharia anymore. So Rashi says, Vayan Malach Hashem, Hu Hadoiver Bi. Rashi, according to Lishitase, Rashi learns the whole Nevuah is one Malach. It's the Malach who is talking to Zecharia. He now turns to Hashem. So imagine the Navi Zecharia says, what do you see? And the Malach says, well, wait a second, I have to tell Hashem something. So what does he tell to Hashem? He says, Hashem Tzavakos, Ad Mosayat Haloi Sarachim Es Yushalayim. How long are you not going to have mercy on Yushalayim? Ve'isari Yehuda, and the cities of Yehuda, Asher Za'amta, that you were angry at, Zeshivim Shana, the last 70 years. In other words, now the Malach turns, after seeing this nevuah of how the rest of the world was tranquil and Yerushalayim was in ruins, the Malach can't take it. The Malach says to God, God, why are you doing this? Look at the Malbim. Says the Malbim, Vayan. Now Vayan doesn't mean only the way we translate it, he responded. Right? Vayan sometimes means what? The Anisa v'amarta, to call out loud, in a loud voice. The Malbim learns from Miloshan Haram Askol. Bashara HaMalach, when the angel saw Kilayla Yoitzis v'Layla Acheres Ba. One night is coming and one night is leaving and another night is coming. Malchus Acheres Tispais Memshal Yisrael, and another Malchus is going to grab a hold of dominion over Klal Yisrael. Sheyaru Lahemai, they're going to do very bad to them. And the Malbim says this is referring to who? Antiochus. And the Malach sees the Zman Hagula has not come. And therefore he cries out, An Mosei Ata! Why don't you, Ribbon Hashem, have mercy? Aren't the 70 years over? So what is the answer? Bayan Hashem es HaMalach. God responds to the Malach. Hadoiverbi, that was speaking to me, Zecharia says. What did he respond? Devarim toivim, good things. Devarim nichumim, words of consolation. Now, what in the world is that supposed to mean? Says Rashi. Now, if a Navi hears from God something, the Navi has to repeat it, word for word. Navi cannot hold anything back. a Navi that's Kovish Nevuah, so is Chayiv Misa. But it seems over here like the Navi's not telling us everything. What did Hashem tell the Malach? Good stuff. You know, your kids asking, what were you talking about? Good things. They know you're hiding something from them. So,
what is the Lashon Vayan Hashem Es Hamalach? Isn't that a funny way of using the word Es? He didn't.
Why?
Before it says Vayan Malach Hashem, right? Vayomar. The S is.
I don't know.
I know what it means.
It's
not like he's speaking to him normally, you know.
It's in other words, Zecharia is reporting.
Vayan Hashem Vayomar. I mean, Vayan Hashem Es Hamalach.
Like
did Hashem yell back at the Malach? I mean, first of all, you can say, what kind of chutzpah was it that the Malach raised his voice to a Kadosh Baruch Hu?
Again, the Zecharia is not telling us what Hashem told him. He's saying now what the Hashem told the Malach. Now, Rashi learns, Lo sheshama hanavi ma'ana. Zecharia did not hear what Hashem told the Malach. So what's he saying? From what the Malach later reports to Zecharia figured out it must have been good things. You hear? Very interesting. This pasuk, according to Rashi, according to Rashi, Zecharia did not hear one word Hashem told the Malach. A Navi hears when God speaks to him. A Navi doesn't hear conversations God has with Malachim. That's how.
And Yud Beis, is that the same? Or Yud Beis is
Yud Beis, the Malach is talking. What?
The Yud Beis is really what what the Malach said to Kadosh Baruch Hu? This he heard from the voice of the Malach?
Apparently that he may have heard, and this he did not hear, according to Rashi.
So how did he characterize it as good and comforting?
Because
he didn't hear it.
The Malach is then going to tell him what he said, and from the words the Malach claims that he said the Malach is about to report to Zecharia what Hashem told the Malach. So from there, Zecharia figured out Hashem must have told the Malach good things.
So instead of repeating what the Malach told him, he decided just to characterize it as good.
He will repeat what the Malach told him,
later on,
but he can't repeat what God told the Malach because he doesn't know. That's how Rashi learns. However, the Malbim learns differently. The Navi did hear what Hashem told the Malach, but Hashem never told the Navi to tell it to us, so therefore he didn't. He just reporting general. It was good.
Well, if Hashem allowed the Navi to hear what was said, how would he know he's not allowed to repeat it?
It's not that he's not allowed to. He wasn't given that job, so he didn't. Words are expensive. You know? We learned
he should have had
all the parts of the body are vertical, right? Remember? The arms, the hands, the legs, the thighs, all the organs are vertical. There's only one organ that's horizontal. The tongue. What does horizontal mean? It's at rest. It's only there if you need it. Just in case. It's like a weapon. If you need to talk, then talk. It's not people think, God gave me a mouth and I could say a lot of words in 1 minute, I have to make use of it. No. The tongue is there just in case. Just in case you happen to need it. And then the Gemara says, the tongue is on the inside. Why? Because if you have if you have a machine gun, you don't walk around like that. You have it in the holes. You have it just in case. And besides that, even though it's on the inside, you have two guards. You have the lips and the teeth. So there are three functions, three unique aspects of the mouth that indicate don't use it unless you really have to. Okay, so he didn't. So the Navi said, the Navi says, "Navi lo hidiya mashar malach, he lo yitzivo legalos." He never commanded him to reveal it. Okay. So now we're going to hear what it was that Hashem told the Malach.
For sure or seemingly?
No, now the Malach is telling Zecharia what Hashem told him. The Malach said to me, Hadoiveri was speaking to me, Kira, call out, Lamar, Kayamar Hashem Tzavakai, so says God of Master of Hosts, right? Remember we learned in the first year on Zecharia, why is God continuously referred to as Hashem Tzavakos? Because most of Klal Yisrael did not return. Right? Only Yehuda and Binyamin. The rest of Klal Yisrael did not return. And maybe then you would think that Hashem no longer could be called Master of Hosts. After all, most of the Shvatim are not there. So Hashem is, throughout Zecharia, encouraging everyone to return. And this way He'll continue to be called Master of Hosts. Okay? So, Koyam Hashem Tzavakos. Kinesi liYushalayim. Uletzion. I am vengeful for Jerusalem and for Tzion. Kina Gedola, a great vengeance. What does this mean? Zakt Rashi, Yadalad, Kinesi, Letzion. Mispara, Ana. Paranos Dain Yerushalayim. Paranos Din Yerushalayim. I will pay back judgment to Jerusalem. Min hametzikim la, from those who oppress her. In other words, God is saying the fact that the nations of the world are at peace, and you and Jerusalem lay in ruins, you should know, I will take revenge. I will punish them for what they did to Yerushalayim and to Tzion.
The Kadosh Baruch Hu here is responding to Kinesi Yerushalayim and Tzion, whereas the Malach before said, Lo Sarachlam Yerushalayim Yisrael Yehuda. So it's not, exactly parallel.
No. The Malach asked God, why aren't you having mercy on Yerushalayim? So now the Malach is saying, you know what Hashem told me? I will have mercy on Yerushalayim.
What about the difference between Sion and Arei Yehuda? The Malach said, Lo Saracham Yisrael Yehuda. But here he says, Kinesu Shalim et Sion L'Tzion. So Tzion is not just Arei Yehuda.
Well, the question is, what does Tzion mean? What does Tzion mean?
Greater Israel. So just leave that as it.
Does it refer to Eretz Yisrael? Does it refer to Yerushalayim? Or does it refer to the Makom HaMikdash?
No, it says separate.
It says Yerushalayim separate.
So what does Tzion mean?
Tzion is separate.
But you could say it was Arei Yehuda, because that's what the Malach said to him before.
Is that what Tzion means?
I don't know.
I think it could refer to either, depending on the context. It could refer to Eretz Yisrael, it could refer to Yerushalayim, and it could refer to the Harabais.
Tzion is the whole.
Ki mitzion teitzato. What does that mean? It refers to the Lishkas Hagazos. On the Torah came forth from the Makom HaMikdash, from the Sanhedrin in the Makom HaMikdash. So Tzion is a very generic term.
I'm just asking why, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu responds,
right,
he doesn't respond in the same way that the Malach made his comment about Yerushalayim and Arei Yehuda. Changed Arei Yehuda to Tzion. Yerushalayim.
So if he uses Tzion, what does he say?
And here Yerushalayim is Malay Yud, whereas before, it was not Malay, it's Chasad Yud.
Okay.
So why would he use Tzion and use Yerushalayim if that's part of it?
It's another aspect of it. It's why would it have two names? It represents another facet of Yerushalayim, possibly. Now, again, the Mitzudos also learns Kinesi means kas. I'm going to get angry. However, others learn that I will take up their cause. Look at the Ibn Ezra. Ibn Ezra says, Pasuk Yud Daled. Hikino L'Toiv. The Ibn Ezra says something very interesting. Sometimes you have Kinesi Bi, and sometimes you have Kinesi Li. Says Ibn Ezra, there's a fundamental difference. Kina Li is on account of. I will take revenge on account of. Kina L'Toiv. When it's Kina Bi, Vayikanu Boi, it's take revenge against. So God is not taking revenge against Yerushalayim. He's going to be vengeful on their account. V'ketzev gadol ani kotzef, and a great anger I will be angry al hagoyim hashananim, on the tranquil Gentiles. In other words, you wanted to know everyone around the world is tranquil and Jerusalem lay in ruins. No, I will take anger against the goyim. Asher ani katzaf. Why? This is very important. Why will I take anger against them?
Destroyed Yerushalayim.
Because Ashani katsafti ma'at, I got a little bit angry. Vehima azru l'ra, and they helped with the evil. In other words, yes, Rebbe Shalom says, I wanted to punish Klal Yisrael, and I wanted them to carry it out, but they went overboard. Right? The Goyim. Who's they? We'll see in a minute. Look at the Radak. Look at the Radak. The Radak says, Ani katzafti ma'at. Ani katzafti so ma'at. All I wanted to do is lahagloisam. U'ma'at hu keneged ma sheheru heim li Yisrael achar galusam. And that's a little bit compared to the evil they did. They were azru l'ra, lahar alem yoiser midai, v'chein amar b'yishaya, katzafti al ami, chalalti es nachalasi, ve'eneim biyadcha, leisamtam rachamim. In other words, all God wanted to do was that they should be oppressed and not they should be destroyed.
So HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want the Beis HaMikdash destroyed? The Goyim did that on their own?
No, that it doesn't say. But
so how are the Goyim to know what it is that, where the red line was that they weren't supposed to cross?
Well, they were allowed to conquer, but they weren't allowed to murder and violate and do to the level that they did.
It's like Mitzrayim, they were just supposed to capture them but not do anything worse.
Right. L'chein koyamar Hashem, therefore so says Hashem.
The way they killed the people then. I mean,
Yeah, my question, how are the Goyim supposed to know? HaKadosh Baruch Hu was angry. You could say they did what Hashem wanted them to do. We don't know. Hashem didn't tell them. How do we know?
The viciousness, the way they killed, the viciousness.
Then that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted.
No, he wanted you to kill them. That's one thing. But the way you kill them, there's killing and killing. There's two ways of doing it. You shoot the person, but then you shoot and you stab. There's nothing to do with that. Could be what he said.
It was a brutality.
You don't want them to be killed either. So it's to plunder and humiliate.
Right.
They came back with murder and destruction.
So from that mashma, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want the Beis HaMikdash destroyed.
No, it doesn't say here anything.
Thrown out, maybe, but not to destroy the Beis HaMikdash.
It doesn't say here that they're being punished for the Beis HaMikdash being destroyed. Here, let's see Pasuk Tazayin. L'chein, therefore, koyamar Hashem. Shavti l'Yushalayim berachamim. I will return to Yerushalayim with mercy. Beisi yibaneba. My house will be rebuilt. No'em Hashem tzvakos. V'kav. And the line, Yinata, will be stretched al Yerushalayim. Now, what is this kav?
Well, kav in Hebrew, modern Hebrew, as I understand it, is a route.
Is a what?
Is a route. Like a bus route is called a kav. And
yeah,
the card that you use for transportation, like on Metro card, it's called Rav Kav.
No, so
it's spelled with K-Vav like this.
That's not what it means.
Okay.
Over here. The kav is a measuring stick, a string that's used to measure walls. The Metzudas David says, "Haboine yinate kav hamishkolos," a measuring, a weighing line. Livnois chameseir. In other words, God is promising now that the walls of Yerushalayim will be rebuilt. Now the question is, didn't Nehemiah build it already? After all, Rabbi Sai, what is the last sefer of Tanakh? Sefer Nehemiah. Remember? So didn't he build it already? So we have to see the Malbim. What?
He extended the wall.
Who's he? Nehemiah built them.
Yeah, but the walls were modified several times during history. They were made higher.
Yeah, maybe by the Turks and the Ottomans, but in the times of.
Go back to.
So look at the
really
Malbim. The Malbim says like this. Look at number Tezayin. L'chein koyamar Hashem shafti Yerushalayim berachamim. What's the name? L'chein hachrachti loshav Yerushalayim. I must return.
the Shekhinah never returns.
Shahagam she'en ata adayin zman hagula asida, even though it's not time of the future redemption. Ani yoisezem mitzad midas harachamim. I am returning out of mercy mitzad onyam v'tzarasam, because of their affliction. V'gam beisi yibaneva shelachin yeh ata binyan abayis. Shiel hem makom l'spalo shem l'sakrin masim l'havit tzedek olam im yizku. V'hinei bayis hahi, says the Malbim at that time, lo hayil hem rishus rak al binyan habayis. Lo yilev nois chametz Yerushalayim. They were not given permission yet to build the wall. Shalzel le'nitem l'rishus. So now, says the Navi Zecharia, not only will you rebuild the Beis HaMikdash, you will also rebuild the walls. Says the Malbim, a big chiddush. You ready for this? Even though the word kav means what? A line, a plumb line. Says the Malbim, where does the word come from? V'haksiv kava. Now the Malbim wants to know, why is it a Greek sieve? It's written v'kav yinata, but it's spelled v'kava, miloshain tikva, v'yachal, and hope. Tikva v'yachal. Shemi'ata yishlam tikva, now they have some hope. Im yizku ma'asem shia achris hazam. Okay? So the Malbim feels that there's significance to the Greek sieve, v'kava, and hope will be stretched out in Yerushalayim. Okay. Oid, also, okay, another nevuah. Kira, proclaim. Lamar, saying, Kaya marasham tzvakos. Oid tifutzena, arai mitayv. My cities will be spread out with bounty. V'nicham Hashem oid Tzion. God will console again. Tzion. Uvachar oid b'Yerushalayim, and God will again choose Yerushalayim. What does this mean?
But the Shekhinah never returned, right? In the second base of English, one of the things that was missing was the Shekhinah.
Yes.
At the base of English, we did the Kavanos, but the Shekhinah never returned.
Well, to the same extent, but there was Shekhinah even in the second base HaMikdash. The Metzudas David says, Oid tifutzen, or Oid yavai churban begalas abayis hasheni. The Metzudas David learns that this is about a nevuah l'ra. Churban will come to the second base HaMikdash, and the cities of Yehuda will be scattered, and all goodness will be removed. And then, by the Gula Asida, God will be consoled. That will be Gula Shlema. It's a very interesting explanation. But, says the Radak, doesn't mean the cities will be spread out after the Churban of Bayasheni. It means now, during Bayasheni, the cities of Yerushalayim will be populated and will be bountiful from goodness. The Ibn Ezra says, B'chol tzad, they will be exploding from Meroiv HaToiva, Yigdal HaYishav. Says the Malbim, V'oi toidim davar achar. The Malbim learns like the Metzudas. Tell the Jewish people that Bayasheni, and this is a big yesod we mentioned many, many times, Shahagu'ula hazois eina hagu'ula ha'amitis. This is not the true redemption. Bayasheni was not Geula. It was only a visit. It was a pekida. It was a visit, but it was not a Geula. Kioi tifutzenu arai. They'll be they'll be exiled by the Haramiyim.
Isn't it considered one of the four Geulos?
Four Geulos?
I mean the return from the. We learned about the four Geulos, and I thought this was just one of them coming back from Bavel.
No, there's no such thing as four Geulos. There are four exiles. There's only. But coming back, there's no concept of four Malchios and four Golusim, but there's no concept of four Geulos.
Isn't a Geula after each Golus?
No. The four Golusim are four continuous Golusim, where Madai Paras took the Golus from Bavel. There was no redemption from Bavel. Where Yavan took it from Paras, where Rome took it from Yavan. But the Golus will come when we take back everything from from all of them, from the Romans. But the Malbim learns V'nicham Hashem Oides Sion is after the war against the Yevanim. Says the Malbim, what's Sion? You ready? Sion is the Beis HaMikdash. Says the Malbim, Sha'acharei HaMelchemes HaYevanim that were mevatel avodah Beis HaMikdash shezet tiyuchas l'Tzion Yinachem Hashem Sion. And then, after the Romans destroy Yerushalayim, Ubachar Oid Yerushalayim. Okay.
That's the end of that
this is similar to the Nevuah of Shabbos Chanukah. I think we have almost the same pasuk. You have in Paragimel pasuk Tezayin, V'nachal Hashem es Yehuda Chelkai al Admas Kodesh Uvachar Oid B'Yerushalayim. So here also you have Uvachar Oid B'Yerushalayim. Okay, Rabbi say, have a wonderful day.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.